Okay.
Hi, and welcome to another exciting episode of Talk Bloody to Me. I'm Matt,
And I'm Brezzy.
and this week we are pleased to bring you a movie that is still relatively new. It's not from the 80s or the 90s. Is it still in theaters, or is it
I
finally
don't
over?
think it's probably just getting out of theaters. I
Okay, yeah.
think.
But we are talking about the movie Obsession, and people have been kind of obsessed with this movie. It's been doing like killing it at the box office.
Right?
Like,
It
and
has.
Yeah, and I'm sure it didn't cost very much to make because there's like four people in the whole movie, basically. Well, more than that, but four main characters. So
Yes.
every year this happens. Every year there's like it was Weapons, and then before that it was what was the one with Nicolas Cage that
Oh,
where he
I
had like the
forgot.
satanic, he was all white looking with his
Yeah, I forgot that one.
all
I didn't
right.
really care for like weapons though.
I know, but everyone goes crazy. Like everyone's like, "Oh, Weapons! It's the best horror movie. The horror genre has been revitalized with Weapons." And now they're saying the same thing about Obsession and Backrooms, and they were saying it about that Nick Cage movie that I can't think of the name of it at the moment, where he looked like an
I have seen
albino.
Backrooms.
Oh yeah, is that good?
That was decent.
We'll cover that on a future episode.
Yeah, we will cover it
But
soon.
this week we are talking about Obsession, and this stars Michael Johnston as Bear, Indy Navarrete as Nikki, Cooper, Tom Flinson as Ian, and Megan Lawless as Sarah. A few other people, apologize for all the names I mispronounced. One crazy thing, Andy Richter is like the store manager, like the fun girl's dad. Andy Richter from Conan O'Brien. He was like a sidekick. So it's like
Ah,
it's Andy Richter. Anyway,
you
side
would pick that up.
right. He's in the movie for like 37 seconds, and it was exciting to me because it was
Right.
Andy Richter. Um. Anyway, what else? Oh, side note before we get started, I think the name Bear is stupid. Like I don't know, just every time they said the name Bear, it like took me out of the movie. Like I know there are actual people named Bear and named Wolf and whatever else,
I think it's an
Cougar.
awesome name though.
Right. Well, I
Hey
like Bear
Bear.
Grylls. I like Bear Grylls, but but this guy is definitely not a bear, and maybe they did that intentionally. He's very passive and very meek and very unbear-like, and so they maybe did that intentionally to sort of contrast with his character. But yeah,
Yeah.
Bear. So, uh, so what the story is what, as I said, our good friend Bear, he's not super smooth and swift with the ladies. He's got a big crush on Nikki, and like she's maybe kind of a little bit out of his league. And then
Uh-huh.
his buddy Ian is kind of giving him some horseshit advice, which you find out later there's a reason maybe why he was giving him some horseshit advice. But
I think it was just like it's one of those like, hey, I want to give you advice, but it's like some to me it kind of like, okay, that's a bullshit advice.
right, exactly.
Like what? Okay, you care for your friend, but that's a bullshit advice you give to somebody.
Right? Exactly. Oh, and we should say spoilers alert right off the bat because we're probably gonna spoil everything. But so he's like trying to convince him to make a move on her, ask her out, and then Sarah is the other girl. Then she has a crush on Bear, but Bear doesn't feel the same way about Sarah, and so it's this whole big angsty thing. And then, so he goes to, she said on the phone she dropped her crystal necklace. So he goes to the weird gift shop to buy a new crystal necklace and finds the one wish willow, which you can say a wish and break it, and your wish will come true. And
Yeah.
and it plays a little doo 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 when you pull it out of the
Uh-huh.
box. It's
Yep.
pretty sweet. Um,
Yeah,
and
but he wishes for like this crazy ass woman.
right.
Like, God.
Exactly. You just summed up the whole movie. The end. That's the end of Obsession. And then it
Yeah.
and then it goes from there. So yeah, so I'm sorry. Um
He's just laughing at it because you know it's true. There's a
it
lot of
is true.
crazy women out there like that.
Right. I think a lot of people can relate to this movie in one way or another. They can relate to some people can relate to the bear character, and some people can relate to
Facts.
the Nikki character, and
Facts, yeah.
yeah, some people.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. And like Bear isn't really a like I don't think he's like a horrible person, but he's just really like there's a couple times where he has a chance to like where they like offer like, well, do you want to cancel the wish? And he's like, no. So like he's selfish and dickish enough that he's perfectly fine keeping Nikki under wish mind control. Anyway, I jumped way ahead.
It's okay.
So they go on this kind of awkward little friend date, and then he offers to bring her home, and then he's trying to make a move, and she's like got no time. She's like, fuck you. Not really, but she's just clearly, obviously not into it. And
Yep.
then she's like, okay, bye. And so then he has his little one wish, and he's like, I wish that she loved me more than fucking anyone else in the world. And he breaks it. And then all of a sudden she's like instantly right there in the doorway. Like, and she's like, oh, hi, you should come in. You should come in, right? You know, you should come in. And
Yeah. But
it's like, whoa. Before this, his cat died, and you see a scene of him crying over his cat, and
mhm.
that's sad. And but it kind of also establishes his character that this guy's got a lot of feelings, you know, and so and he's kind of wienery, to be honest. So, but that's
Yeah, I that gave me that vibe too when I was watching him for like the second time. But I was more so paying attention to this crazy ass chick. I can't get
yeah.
over it. Like the yeah, yeah.
What are some
Like
of her crazy behaviors that stick out in your mind?
well, she remember that scene that she was like standing there and
Mm-hmm.
she was like smiling. And
Yeah.
so when I first seen it, I'm like, oh, did the okay, what's going on with this movie? Like,
Yeah.
you can't really tell that she's breathing. She's just standing there, just smiling, and she's not blinking.
Yo.
So I'm like, is there something wrong with the movie? I didn't see this in theaters. I actually watched it on Fetch Fruit. So I
Okay.
was like, oh, is my internet down or what's going on? And all of a sudden, and then she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, like
Shit. Right?
I
The
know.
actress does a really good job. She is able to pull off some really, she can hold really still and she can make some really crazy faces. She can make some smiles that are sleepaway camp level almost of smiles that
Yes.
of creepiness and weirdness and extreme like holy shit woman. Like chill the fuck out. But yeah, she and they do a lot of stuff with lighting too, where like she's standing in the dark and it's just light enough that you can sort of make out the shape of her and like see like the reflection of her eyes.
Yeah.
But that's about it. So it's almost like a dark shadow with eyes is just talking to you. And
I
it
kind of like that vibe though.
yeah, it makes a really cool vibe. So yeah, so instantly the wish works and she is like obsessed with him. And once this movie this is like maybe 10, 15 minutes in, and once it
Uh,
starts, it does not slow down hardly at all. There's one little part where it slows down and then smash right back to it. But it's just nonstop of she like gets in his car and says, "Let's go to your place," and then like doesn't ever leave basically for the rest of the movie. And it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
they did have sex like I think twice.
Yeah. Yep. And so it starts out they go to work and they he like says that he loves her and whatever and so then they're like the cute couple at work but everyone's kind of like what the fuck? Like why are these two all of a sudden a cute couple, you know, being all flirty and whatnot?
Yeah.
And they're all like on top of each other and everything. Oh, there's one part like after the first party where it's the day after and they all go to work and
Mm.
Bear and Ian are talking about Nikki and she's in the background and she's like blurry, like it's not focused on her, but you can still make out that her head is facing like towards them.
Yep.
And then there's like a 10-minute scene of them talking, like it feels like forever, and her head does not move that entire time. And then he says, "Is she still looking?" And then it focuses in, and it's her face, and she's staring right at him. It's like that's really cool, actually. I like
It's
that a
like,
lot.
how can you like stand there for 15, if not 30 minutes, just sit there and just stare and not blink and not move?
And smiling too.
Yeah, I can't do that. They must have do like multiple takes because I don't know if it, well, it can be possible, but it's like
hmm
blinking.
hmm
There's no way you cannot blink for 30 minutes.
Right. Um,
Like,
there's a part later where he has to go to work and she like has the door all duct because she quit the job her job or whatever, but the
yep.
door is all like covered with duct tape and then she's like, oh, if you have trouble with the door, and he's like, no, I got it. And then she's like, okay. And then she just stands there waiting and she pisses herself. And apparently the actress in real life really did piss herself for like for to make it real. So kudos to being committed to
I,
the role.
yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to make that scene work.
Right, exactly. Um, yeah, and then there's like moments where like there's one towards the beginning where they're like in bed and they're like making out, and all of a sudden it's like the wish will wear off for like just like a half a second, and she's like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?" And she like jumps off of him and panics, and then it like snaps right back into place,
Yep.
she's all like, "Oh, I love you." So it's like clear that the actual person, Nikki, is not doing this of her own free will. It's like the wishes forcing her to be this way.
It's like she's like bipolar
Yeah.
and crazy.
Some people make the comparison to borderline personality disorder. Some people
Yes, I
say
can see that too.
there's like a bit of a metaphor there with that and yes, bipolar maybe and other mental health issues. Um it's like that but cranked up to like 12 and or 13.
With me, probably more than that because I've seen it firsthand, like with somebody or a
Oh,
couple
really?
other women. But yeah, yeah,
Wow.
there's some women out there that's like that. So be careful.
That's
Don't make a wish on it because no, you don't want that.
right. I think that's the moral of the story, really, right there. That's you summed up obsession yet again.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, so um it just keeps her behavior keeps getting more and more extreme. Like she said that her dad was dying of cancer and that's why she was acting more emotional than usual. And
Mm.
then her other friends are like, she doesn't even like her dad. Her dad moved away 10 years ago and she doesn't even talk to him. And then they're in like a restaurant and he's like, "Is your dad really dying of cancer?" And all of a sudden she's just like, "Don't do this!" And she like stands up and starts screaming. It's like, oh my God.
Yep.
Like this whole movie is like tense. Like I felt tense the entire movie. Like just kind of like,
I felt annoyed.
yeah, I could see that too.
I was
Yeah,
really annoyed.
yeah. So I take it you weren't a huge fan of this movie.
Not really, no. I
Yeah.
mean, like I I do like how was coming about between him and her, like the
Hmm.
obsession part and the
Hmm.
wish.
Hmm.
However, it just brought me back to so many memories of like past issues that I came about with my friends, that guy friends and their ex-girlfriends or that crazy. So it's like I don't want to watch this.
Right. It was kind
But
of
it
like a
just brings up like that vibe. I don't,
right.
it's a good movie, don't get me wrong. It's just, yeah, no.
That's a good point. Some people might watch it and find it triggering,
Mm,
and other people might find it almost therapeutic in a way to see it up on the screen. It kind of just depends on the person and know yourself and know what your limits. Because I think that's a valid point. I think
yep.
if that's going to bring back some bad memories for you, then that's something to be aware of. Because this movie definitely
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah. That's why I'm shocked that they don't like have it as a warning, like, hey,
Right.
this might trigger some people that experience this,
Right.
some
Yeah,
mental health. But
exactly.
yeah, if you guys watch this and you have that kind of issue, this is probably not your movie.
Right.
Just don't do it.
As far as horror goes, it's really less of like scary horror. It's less of like a slasher gore and more of like suspense, tension, psychology, the vibe. It feels
Yeah.
uncomfortable to watch. Like it feels like the whole time you're watching it, like me anyway, I just felt like oh my, it's like being at a party and like two people are having a fight and you're just like, oh my God, I just want to get the hell out of here. This is so awkward. Like that's how this movie feels the entire time you're watching it.
I don't feel awkward. I just I don't pay attention.
You just bust out the popcorn. You're like, you start calling commentary. You're like,
I
yeah,
don't even do
fuck that
I don't even
guy.
do that. I have voices in my own head. I'm like, yeah, yeah, they're fighting. I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm in my own little jam in my own little world in my head.
That's
I don't pay attention. I
I've seen
don't.
you at parties. I think that's true.
You what?
I've seen you at parties. I think that's true. You just get in your
Yeah,
own little zone and off you
yeah.
go. Just like,
Yeah, that's a fact.
yeah. But there is one kind of gruesome killing, which does happen with Bear finally gets away for a split second to talk to Sarah, who's been waiting for her last college letter. She's been rejected from all the colleges. She has one left. It's her last chance to go to art school. She confides that she has some feelings maybe for Bear. She also says Ian and Nikki were hooking up all the time before the wish happened, and so that's part of why Ian's uh, being a dick and might explain some of his shitty advice early on in the movie. And then it's like, oh, and then she's like, well, let's open the letter. And then they kind of like have this sweet little moment, and all of a sudden, crash right through the window. Nikki grabs her by the back of the head and just slams her into the steering wheel over and over and over and
I
like
do like
whap,
that. I do
whap,
like that scene.
whap, whap, whap. As I was watching, I was like, okay, Breezy's gonna like this part at least.
Yeah, I do.
And
She
he,
deserves it.
yep, just beats her to a bloody mess right there in the car.
Yep.
And then after she leaves, the guy opens the letter, and of course, wouldn't you know it, just to add insult to injury, she was accepted to the art school, and Bear can't take it. He goes, unleashes his anguish. It's he has his Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader, Revenge of the Sith moment. Sorry, I got way too nerdy there for a second.
It's okay.
But he so they're like they oh he so his cat died. She serves him his dead cat, and then he calls the customer service line on the back of the Wish, and it's like Lucky Cat Productions or Tabby Cat or something. That's and
Yep.
he's kind of like, huh? Which and then the guy on the other end of the phone sounds like just this completely bored stoner. Like it sounds like me on the other end of the phone. Like, yeah, what do you want? Yeah, it's a wish. What? Okay.
Yeah, that is you. That is definitely you.
He's like, well, do you want to cancel the wish? And then Bear's like, no, 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 I just want to modify it. I want to modify it. And then he's like, well, we can't do that. And then he's like, okay, well, then I'll cancel. He's like, well, we can't do that. He's like, well, you just said I could. He's like, well, no, I was just figuring that's what you were gonna ask me, or something like that. And it's just this weird. Everyone involved with the One Wish Willow is weird. The woman that sells it to him in the first place is just vague and mysterious and weird. And then this guy on the phone is the same way. And then he goes back to the store later. There's a different guy who's also vague and weird, but he's also kind of a smart ass about it. Like he's like, we don't have no One Wish Willows. What the hell's a One Wish Willow? And he's like, just kidding, they're right there. And it's he points to and so there is a little like some comedy too in this and like some of that kind of stuff. But the only way to end the wish is to for him to die.
Mm.
So he gets two more one wish below, so he's gonna have his either his friend Ian wish to end it or he's gonna have Nikki wish to end it. Well, he tries to talk to Ian. He can't. Ian wishes for $1 billion, and $1 billion falls out of the sky. La, da, 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 da. Okay, that's a big spoiler alert for the ending. So then he goes to
Yep.
Nikki's house. He's trying to get her to Wish, but she's got a gun. She's threatening to kill herself. She's threatening to kill him. Ian comes in the door. I got $1 billion. Blam! She kills Ian. And then Bear locks himself in the bathroom. He's got the gun. He decides he's going to shoot himself. I thought he was going to shoot Nikki, to be honest, but no, he decides he's going to shoot
Yeah.
himself, end the curse. At least Nikki can go back to normal. And so then he goes and he's like trying to do it, he's trying to do it, and then he finally he's like, oh, he's a wiener right up to the very end. He wieners out, and instead he decides to OD on some pills. And he takes a bunch of pills, and then oh, he even wieners out on that. He starts to try and make himself throw up, and all of a sudden in the background you hear the little One Wish Willow music, the doodle doo doodle doo doodle. You hear the crick, and then all of a sudden he just
Yeah.
stops and he like stands up and smiles and clearly she has wished for him to love her as much as she loves him, and they kind of go together, and they
Mm.
go in this embrace, and they're kind of giggly, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, the pills kicked in," and he starts ODing, and then he dies, and she's like, "No, no," and then he finally dies all the way, and like the wish wears off, and she's like snaps back to reality, and she's like covered in blood, and there's like a dead body on her, and like another dead body over there that she shot, and it's just like, what the fuck? And so she just
Yeah.
starts
She's like, what the
bawling.
fuck happened? Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. And I have to say, I really like that ending. If you're a fan of the show, you know I like a downer ending. This was a good ending. I like this one.
Yeah, it was a decent ending for me. I mean, I liked it.
Yep. Now, if he hadn't taken the pills and she'd wished for him to love, what would have happened? Would they just have had sex until they died of dehydration? Like just It's like with the wish
Well,
affecting them
if it
both,
was a well, if it was a wish, I mean, one of them has to die.
right? But what I'm saying is, if he didn't kill himself, if he had just been normal and she wished for him to love her, and he had already wished her to love him, and they just would sit and they would just make out and have sex and then eventually starve to
Right.
death because they
Yep.
wouldn't stop.
Yep.
And then once one of them died, the other one would break free. But they died together, like
Possibly.
Romeo and
That
Juliet.
could go all like if that happens, it could go multiple ways.
Right? Exactly.
Like
So what would you rate this movie?
uh honestly, I really like this one, but just I don't know, I didn't really like it. I mean, I like it, but I hate it. But I do like the actors and stuff, so I'll probably want to give this like probably an 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I really liked it a lot. I think I'll give it an 8 too. I think I liked it a lot more than you did. But it's not quite your cup of tea, but it just the whole vibe of it. I like that it made me feel uncomfortable basically the entire
Yeah.
movie. Like there's just a certain like feeling. It's different from other horror movies where you get that like adrenaline rush of the jump. I mean, there is a couple jump scares, but it's more just kind of like the oh my God, what the hell am I watching for like the entire movie. And
So
so
it's kind of like the movie like Together.
yeah, and that's what it
Y
reminded me of that too, actually. Except I
Yep.
like this one better than Together.
Oh, I like Together a little bit more. We're doing opposites. That's okay.
Right? That's usually we're totally in sync, but in this
And this
obsession,
one,
you
in
have
this
to
one,
love
no.
it. You have to love this movie.
In this one, no, we're opposites.
Yeah.
That's okay.
At least we're not obsessed. That's the main thing.
Right?
Yeah. So yeah, I will rate it an 8 as well. All right. Anything else you want to talk about Obsession before we go?
No, that's pretty much it.
Obsession by Calvin Klein, available at Macy's.
You would.
Right. All right. See you next time.
See you next time.